Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Uganda, and you're watching UBC TV. If you started the show with us in the past few minutes, thank you so much for joining the ride and sticking to the ride up until this point. This morning, let us explore Uganda's progress, challenges, and future plans in expanding access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy as the country transitions from NDP3 to NDP4. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. And in studio with me to have this conversation is Emmanuel Ajuto, who is the Assistant Commissioner for Policy Analysis, alongside Engineer Abdon Atwine, who is the Commissioner for Rural Electrification. For you to be a part of this conversation, 0709-602-592. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining through. And I will start with Engineer Abdon. For the sake of context, what is the goal of the Sustainable Energy Program?
Yes, good morning, viewers. I have been introduced as Engineer Abdul Natwine, and I work with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development as a commissioner in charge of rural electrification. Before I come to your question, is that energy is at the center of socio-economic development. You can't do anything without energy. You run from industries, go to tourism sector. Without power, you can't do much. Go to agro-processing, go to our small and medium enterprises. So we really need energy. And when we talk of sustainable energy, is that harness that energy that you have as Uganda and use it carefully. That has been our theme as the Minister of Energy, and that's why we work hard to make sure that Uganda, as we grow, we increase the generation, we increase the transmission and distribution segments, but also we make sure that this energy does not stop at generation and transmission, but also has impact in the social and economic lives of people by running industries, by helping tourism sector to grow, by helping agriculture sector to grow, by helping mining sector to grow, and many others.
All right, thank you very much. You are watching UBC TV, and this particular conversation, in case you missed it, it's in regards to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and from access to impact powering Uganda's transformation through sustainable energy is the light that we're looking at. Coming to you, Emmanuel, what have the most transformative achievements under the Sustainable Energy Program, Development Program been so far?
Good morning, listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. Members, like Commissioner mentioned, energy has been one of the key enablers of growth in our country. During NDP 3, we set ourselves ambitious targets, which I'm happy that we moved a great distance. So far, we were able to scale up access. We've moved from quite a low level. Remember our population growth. We also need to scale. So right now we're standing at about 60%, which is something so significant. And if you move around, we're able to, like we say, power Uganda. We're able to enable what we call the productive uses of energy. So far, we can get from low level, or getting a number of household incomes growing. So far, if you tuned in very well, you find that we're now almost transitioning to the level of middle income growth. So energy plays a very critical role here in enabling us to achieve this, because it's an input to growth, it's an input to production, it's an input to social and economic transitioning. That's basically what I can say.
Right.
But also to add maybe,
yes, please,
on the achievements. So I have said that we must have enough power so that we cause impact. You will see that in the last few years, we have been able to increase generation. For instance, the 600 megawatts Karuma hydropower plant, that has been very significant. Otherwise, if that plant was not there, we would have run out of power by now. But also we have seen that we have to connect all regions of Uganda through transmission infrastructure. You have seen West Nile. We recently connected West Nile. They are now on the national grid. And I am happy to report at the time we connected, I think they were at about 5.4 megawatts consumption. They are now above 10. You can see the strides they are taking now by connecting them on the national grid, and ensure that that suppressed power, people who want to use power but cannot use it because it is not there, they are now starting to do their work. You have seen we have extended the transmission grid to Kabale so that we pick that area and we pick economic activities that are taking place there. And also when you look at access, taking people into homesteads, you know, those days in the past, you would find that we connect 70,000 people per year. but now we have increased that. I think I'm able to report that last financial year we connected about 250,000 homesteads, and I think now we are targeting about 400,000. So those are the achievements in numbers that we have been able to achieve.
Indeed.
Some, yes. Yeah.
Right. And rightfully to say there's no progress that doesn't carry challenges with it. I'll still stay with you, Engineer Abdon. Uganda's installed operation capacity is expected to be, it's projected to grow to from 2,058 megawatts in just this year to about 15,420 megawatts come 2030. What strategies are being deployed to achieve this major ambitious target?
Yes, there are a number of strategies. One is that we have to diversify our energy mix. We are now mainly generating through hydropower using our river Nile, but also we have to look at energy source, other energy sources, because hydropower may not give us all this power. So we are looking at nuclear energy as a major source of electricity, and if you have been following us, we are developing a power plant at Uyende, which will generate, I think, about phased 8,000, but phased 8,000 megawatts, and in total by 2040, we are looking at 24,000 megawatts. We are looking at solar energy. We are bringing in grid-connected plants. We now have 10 megawatts plants, but we are scaling them up to 100 or more, because as the demand grows, the network can take bigger solar power plants. We are looking at the thermal generation using heat in the ground, and which we have in Pakwach, Panyamur, which we have in the Katwe area. We are also looking at other areas to mention that we have to increase our generation. And the other strategies we have is partnerships, because you know that energy sector is capital intensive, so we need a lot of resources, we need a lot of money, we need a lot of manpower, so we have to work with private sector to participate in some of these generations. We have to work with development partners to pool resources. We have to cooperate with the internal stakeholders, I would say, internal to Uganda. You have to work with Ministry of Finance, you have to work with NPA, you have to work with the Revenue Authority who collect money, and many others, so that we put together resources and we make the dream of our strategies true.
Right. In case you're just joining us, we are looking at powering Uganda's transformation through sustainable energy. And the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development is here to give us, thus far, the achievements that have been looked at, especially as we move from NDP3 into NDP4. Coming to you, Emmanuel, to the viewer, explain the theme, which is from access to impact.
Thank you very much, listeners. Like the topic itself says, access to impact, because what here we're targeting is not just a matter of giving you energy, but we need to see that energy is giving us value, what we call the productive use. That is what will transition us to the tenfold growth. Because if we are going to increase access alone, without realizing the results, it may not mean a lot. So we need to uplift us, grow up, expand the GDP. So we need to realize that we're moving faster towards that level of development as stipulated in that tenfold strategy.
Right. Yeah. So a viewer comes through and says, "Good morning, UBC. My name is Mwalimu Tugume Musa, live in Kahunge, Kamwenge district. My observation on powering Uganda's energy resources can empowering Uganda's transformation through sustainable energy to give significant economic, social and environmental impacts by increasing energy access, diversifying power sources and reducing resilience as traditional biomass. Uganda can drive economic growth, improve public health, reduce inequality and build climate resilience." Thank you. A blessed morning. Thank you so much to Gume for being on the show and participating with, indeed, your submission. Now, coming to you, Engineer, looking at sustainability and innovation, how is the ministry balancing expansion, of course, of generation capacity, but at the same time balancing it with environmental and climate conservation?
Yes, as I said, when you look at our generation strategy, it's looking at transiting from fossil fuels to renewable energy. And I think that's the first thing that we are looking at, so that we care for the environment. We move away from fumes that come from fossil fuels, and then use energy resources or renewable energy resources, which I am glad that God has gifted Uganda. So that's why we are moving into areas like solar. We are moving into geothermal generation. We are moving into nuclear, but also on the side of utilization. You know, our population has been heavily depending on biomass, and we are telling the population that can we move to clean cooking. What do I mean by clean cooking? For instance, if you are in Kampala, you can access electricity. Why can't you use pressure cookers? And actually, when you look at economics, it has proved that when you are using electricity and using modern technologies like pressure cookers, you spend much on cooking than somebody who is using charcoal. And if somebody has not noted that, please approach us, and we give you these gadgets, and really you will come here and testify. We have other technologies like using gas, which we are promoting countrywide. We are telling people that if you don't have electricity, please use gas. It is safe. We'll teach you how to use it. And we have a major program as the government of Uganda to promote gas so that people can use gas. We have other technologies like using waste from cow dung, from latrines, to come up with a gas. We call it biogas, that we can use for cooking and other applications. So we make sure that nothing is wasted. We use everything, and we go renewable. So
and just staying with that particular idea of convincing Ugandans, it's been so far quite hard for most Ugandans to transition from the use of charcoal. And for many of them, the idea is that using charcoal or such means as such is quite less expensive. It's not cost benefit, obviously, but it's less expensive than someone using a pressure cooker or gas cooker that is connected to electricity, and their electric meter will be running as fast as they usually consume. So how best do you think, or what strategies is the government putting in place to convince Ugandans of the cost-benefit effect of using clean energy than carbon energy?
I think we have a saying in Nyankore, but I will say it in English here, that if a kid does not explore, thinks the mother cooks the best food. And I think we have seen that people who have not used other forms of energy, they think that charcoal is economical.
Actually, even for those who have gas,
yes,
they don't cook certain foods on gas.
But what I tell you, and from the engineer, take it from the engineer, is that other forms of energy actually are cheaper, especially electricity, by the way. You know, we normally say it is women to cook, but now with these new technologies, I can tell you how you prepare food, and your kids are like, wow, this is daddy. So the strategy we have is that really we have to sensitize people. You have seen us going to churches, using bishops, using the archbishop and the rest, using the cultural leaders, so that people are able to get this information. We are no longer sensitizing in Kampala here, but we are finding people in their areas where they stay, Kumi, Mbarara, Kitugumu, Karamoja, and everywhere, so that people know that these technologies exist. They try them themselves and see And actually, I hope that at one time we can have some of these people to come in and testify that actually they have made savings.
All right. Let me come over to you, Emmanuel. What should the citizens, local governments, and private sectors at that expect in the next phase of Uganda's sustainable energy journey?
Thank you very much. In the next phase, if you look at, like, for example, building promote engineers, as mentioned, we are looking at moving from these traditional approaches to modern approaches, looking at where everybody is able to transition, pick up from, how do we disseminate that message? How do we make the common person on ground understand that energy is actually a vital input in his whatever he's doing in his economic activities. So in the next phase, like we mentioned earlier on, we are moving to first scale up how much energy are we getting, clean energy, and then two, how do we make it available to the last person, the last mile connection should be available. So in the next phase, like we mentioned, we're trying to scale up access. We want to target at least within this period, the 5-year period of the NDP4, at least we should go up to 80%. Of course, we're using different approaches. We're looking at the grid-based, we're looking at off-grids, all the solutions we're putting into consideration. And then also, like I mentioned earlier on, we're trying to see what kind of economic activity can we pick up here. So we're looking at all those productive uses of energy, all those things. And then on the policy side, we're trying to see how best do we make it affordable. Because the biggest complaint has been that energy is very expensive, like you just mentioned. But if you look at the number of innovative approaches we're looking at, we are looking at a target of 5 cents at the end of the day. And then also, we're looking at, we've so far introduced, for example, what we call the cooking tariff. So if you use up to a certain level, it comes down. So we hope that within that period, people should be able to realize that this is an enabler to development. This is the core. So, and of course, we are looking at those issues of efficiency. We need to make sure that when it comes, it is really we're realizing the value out of it. Yeah. As
someone comes through and says, greetings, yes, we import fuel from Saudi Arabia as of now, but by government. And my challenge is fuel prices are ever escalating over and over than before when we're importing it individually. And yet, even now, our shilling is gaining strength. And that is from 3,885 to 3,450 as of now. But our challenge is we are not seeing any change in costs of fuel. We love Museveni as our president, but those are unresolved challenges that make us to shun him over nothing. I remain Benson Gumisiriza. Engineer Abdon, what would you tell Benson?
Yes, when you look at the policy that we have taken, that UNOC should be the sole importer to bring in fuel in the country, I think we should not only look at prices, where I will come back to prices, but also we should look at supply stability. For instance, whether it is Christmas, whether it is whether there are challenges in our neighbor countries, we still have stable supply. I remember those days when actually it is towards Christmas, you would need to fuel your car like in November so that you don't have those interruptions. So we have stabilized supply by taking over this strategic need for Uganda. That's one. But also, if you noted that those days, prices were very, very volatile. Very volatile. Today it is 5,000, the next day is 6,000, it comes back to 5,500. But when you note now over a period, we have had stable prices. And I think that's also a positive for Uganda. But also is that fuel prices do not only depend on the economy of Uganda, it also depends on demand, global demand and global production. So since we are importing, if the demand elsewhere is high and these producers have cut for strategic reasons on production, still you will see that we don't have much gain. But with all that which is happening, we have managed to have stable prices and stable supply.
Right. Another comment comes in, and I will pose it to you, Emmanuel. Yes, we have electricity, and you're encouraging use of power for business, and you are encouraging use of power for business and domestic use, but the unit, as we speak, is at 1,000 shillings. Please, the charges are high for a lay person. At least reduce the electricity charged. This is Remedio from Mubende. Over to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much. True, we've mentioned that right now the key issue we're trying to address is the issue of the price of cost of electricity. But what so far we've done, we've clustered it to make it accessible, affordable to each and every citizen. The first category is what we call the lifeline tariff, which is just only 250 shillings. So that one everybody accesses it. Then you move up to maximum of 80 units. That one is, I think, about 800 something if you include the VAT. Then after that, we have what we call the cooking tariff. So cooking tariff enables us to use it. It's a bit cheaper than the other one. And then also we have what we call for public institutions, like, for example, especially the health centers, schools, something like that. So we're looking at that one also. That one is, I think, 340. So it is a process that we're trying to achieve. We know that as we increase access, because the key challenge also is that we have few people accessing, so meaning that the fixed cost is slightly high. Now that we're scaling up access, like we had earlier on, engineers saying that we're scaling up every year, while the numbers are increasing. This year we're targeting 400,000. So meaning that as we increase access, the number comes on, the number that consumes also increases, which eventually lowers the tariff. So it's a process. We accept that it's quite high, but it's a process, and we're very sure that with time, certainly within the near future, the tariff will come down.
All right. Engineer Abdon, I know there's a Renewable Energy Expo today. Please speak into it.
Yes, there is a Renewable Energy Expo at Serena Hotel, Kampala here. And this expo is bringing governments, private sector, experts, and manufacturers, dealers in different renewable technologies into Uganda from all over the world. It is organized by Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development together with the Renewable Umbrella in Uganda. So we will have an expo in terms of exhibition showing technologies that are outside there. So if you have been cooking using charcoal and you want to see another technology, it is there. We'll share information of digitization. For instance, now if you want to do planning, the best planners now are planning based on data. So if you don't digitize, you don't have sufficient data. We'll have experts to share with. Also monitoring, you cannot monitor what you can't see. So we're also talking about digitization of the energy sector, but also if you are a manufacturer, you have a business, you need to know what softwares, technologies that are there to digitize. And we are doing many things. We also have a component on mineral sector, extractives, and that one would be on Wednesday. People should come to understand where the minerals are in Uganda, what procedures you can take to mine, and many more. But also, we'll be educating the public on different aspects of the energy sector. Whatever you need to know, all experts are there, and actually after here, energy, sustainable energies today. After here, actually I'm heading to Serena so that I can interact with whoever wants more knowledge on energy sector, on rural electrification. How can I get power in my house? How can I get power in my SME? How can I get power if I need a transformer? And many more others.
Right. The Renewable Energy Conference Expo is happening to date, the 2025 Expo. And it's at the Kampala Serena Hotel starting today all the way to the 22nd of October 2025. Now somebody comes through and says, good morning. Thank you for the educative awareness. There is a challenge of fake electrical appliances. Please help us. And this is to Engineer Abdon. As Engineer Abdon, you take note of that. I will come to Emmanuel, and please use this as your parting shot. Speak into the power reliability plan for the country.
Thank you very much, viewers. Yeah, the power reliability in the country, we've really received a number of issues. The public is raising a number of concerns about power. But like you notice, we're transitioning from Umeme to Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. So what we're currently doing is, first of all, to understand the system. We're taking stock, and then we're trying to reinforce it. So of course it will take time for us, but it's a reinforcement which is, we have a wider, broader plan which is being put in place. So we're moving towards stabilizing the power. There is it's a phased approach, because we're trying to see how do we enhance the transformative capacities. How do we make sure that every infrastructure on ground is stable? So power reliability will soon certainly be addressed. We're working towards that. But through you, presenter, I'm going to request that the commissioner really gives us that, because that is his docket.
Right.
Yeah.
Over to you, Engineer Abdon Atwene.
I think I will start with the question that you asked me, then I will come back to you. You said that our dear viewer says there are fake electrical appliances. Yes, that's true, because even where we had Jesus on earth, there was also devil. So if you look at our communities where we live, we have so many good people, but we also have people with bad intentions. But how do we intend, or how are we controlling these fake electrical appliances? One is through standardization, where as a ministry we work with UNBS to put in place a number of standards, and as a ministry we participate on two technical committees that set these standards. So most of these appliances, if not all, we have standards that should be followed. Two, our government put in place pre-inspection, that if you are importing anything into the country, it should be pre-inspected before it comes here. But also if it comes here also, UNBS has to confirm that these electrical appliances should meet our standards. But still, we still have those people who want to make quick money, and through which means I don't know. I need to investigate how they manage to get these things here, but they get them there and they find themselves on the market. But also we are manufacturing locally here. We have standards also, and we ensure that these people, they should have laboratories to test their appliances before they hit the market, and UNBS keeps on to monitor them. But apart from that, as I said, there will always be that bad person, bad tomato in so many good tomatoes that will want to spoil the party. we still receive these fake appliances, but still anchoring on UNBS, they have an enforcement department that goes around checking on people's stores with informers, so that if they get you, then you are in for it. And I think you have had URA banning fake materials, fake products, and that's the government at play trying to control these fake appliances. It is not only appliances. If it comes to food, I know it is also a problem. And I think at times our drugs also, some people sneaking a few fake things. But what I would tell to Ugandans, if you are there and you think you will make quick money through fake things, please stop it. You are harming Ugandans and you are harming the generations.
All right. And just to wrap up what Emmanuel had started in terms of speaking into the power reliability plan for the country.
Yes, power reliability. You see, reliability is dependent on many things. First of all, you must have power to give to people, which I think we have done very well as I speak. We have surplus. Two is that you must have network. You start with transmission, by the way. You can carry power in bulk into different load centers. If we have followed the conversation in the energy sector, for a long time, northern Uganda, that's Greater Chori, and West Nile, and Kabara actually, they had issues. Even when we had surplus, we had distribution lines there. We were not able to carry power in bulk. That one we have resolved, and we continue to strengthen the distribution network. The other one is the distribution network also. We have to pay key attention on the distribution network, which I think we are doing. We have seen of recent that, as I said, the rate of connections have increased. But because we were managing the buyout amount for Meme, we did not make adequate investments. And we have, in some areas, some transformers have been overloaded because so many people have come on the network. But already we have a plan with you this year. We have given them money to inject more transformers so that these transformers which are overloaded, they are carrying more than they should be carrying. We separate the road. We rehabilitate some of these feeders, lines, like feeders, like line moving, taking power from Kampala here to Entebbe at 33 kV. We call that one a feeder. So we have already earmarked them for rehabilitation. This year is high energy in procurements, and very soon we should be able to sort out those teasing issues so that again we have reliable power. But we will not forget that we need to move ahead of our demand. So we're also planning a new generation so that as we smoothen the distribution grid, then we are not caught up at the generation. So those are the measures that we are taking. And also working with the public. If you have an issue, you tell us so that we can quickly reach out to you. And if you allow, by the way, I could read some of these toll line for you this year that people can use to report anything related to be theft. You have an issue, your meter is not working, your power is off. So if you give me time, I can read them so that people take note.
All right, please read them.
We have 3 toll lines for you this year. One is 08 00 20 30 88. I want to repeat 08 00 20 30 88. The other one is 08 00 385 385. Again 08 00 385 385. The third one is 08 00 285 285. We also have a WhatsApp line. This is you this year 077 22 85 285. Again 0772 285 285. So you can get us report directed to you this year if you have an issue.
All right, thank you very much. I've been speaking with Engineer Abdona Twine, Commissioner for Rural Electrification, and also Emmanuel Ajuto, who is the Assistant Commissioner for Policy Analysis. And what we've been looking at is access to impact that is powering Uganda's transformation through sustainable energy, and that's been a report being given by the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, reminding you that there is an Expo Renewable Energy Conference and Expo 2025 happening today at the Kampala Serena Hotel from the 20th today to 22nd October 2025. So make sure that you are part of it. And that brings us to the end of this conversation. But also be reminded that campaigns are already ongoing for presidential candidates. And as Uganda chooses to decide, candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be in Adjumani and Amuru today, and candidate Kasibante Robert will be in Masaka and Masaka City today. Also, candidate Mujisha Gregory Muntu will be in Hoima and Chikube, and candidate Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert will be in Kagadi and Chibale. And candidate Nandala Nathan Mafabi will be in Agago, Moroto, Nakapiripirit, and candidate Munyagwa Mubarak will be taking a rest today. He'll be off the trail, and candidate Bulira Frank will be in Bududa. Candidate Mabirizi Joseph will be in Rakai. That is what the campaign trail looks like today, the 20th of October 2025. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. We do have business, we do have the agenda and sports. So stick around because there's still a lot in store for you. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water?
And the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and